The Boston Celtics are one of the best teams in the NBA since the new year. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have finally figured out how to play together effectively, and the supporting cast has been dominant. But there is one man among them that has been overlooked during this stretch: Robert Williams III. He is quietly making a case for the Defensive Player of the Year and is Boston's defensive anchor. Today's video will be about Robert Williams and why he is so important for the Boston Celtics. What a turnaround it has been for the Boston Celtics this season, from being an average team in the first 40 games to being one of the most consistent ones in the second half. They have the #1 defense in the league and are getting better on offense as we bring to close yet another wild NBA regular season. Today, we will talk about the defensive player and potentially most improved player of the league, Robert Williams, and show exactly how he deserved these honorable mentions. But before all that, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. If you have any similar or different ideas as to why Robert Williams is the most underrated player for the Boston Celtics, hit the comment section, as I would love to hear your opinion. Let's keep rolling. Now in his 4th season, Robert Williams III is averaging career highs across the board for the Celtics, making the most of his ascension into the starting lineup on a consistent basis for the first time. After starting 16 games over his first 3 years in the league, Williams has started in all 59 games he's played in thus far for the C's, averaging 9.9 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks per game on 73.2% shooting and 71.9% from the free throw line. Williams has been a common thread for the Celtics. While he isn't the only reason Boston's defense has been so impressive, Williams and his skill set are something that cannot be replicated by anyone else on the Celtics roster, or arguably anyone else in the league. In an era where otherworldly athleticism separates the good from the elite, Robert Williams is in the rarest of air based on his physical gifts alone. Add in a sprinkle of court vision and a dash of improved conditioning, and we've started to see Robert Williams really starting to reach his potential. It was never a lack of talent that held Boston's young center back, but serious concerns about durability, as well as concerns in the draft about his work ethic and a worrisome artery condition. Injuries were a talking point for Williams' first 3 seasons in the NBA. In all fairness, the narrative wasn't off the mark. Per Basketball Reference, Williams logged 113 games played over his first 3 seasons, and only 16 starts. Fast forward to now, and Williams has logged 59 games this season alone and started them all as Boston's defensive anchor. But what's most impressive is the workload increase that comes with it. Last season, Williams averaged just 18.9 minutes per game. Now, he's averaging 29.8 minutes per game in a significantly larger sample size. To give some perspective to this, Williams logged a grand total of 1,656 minutes across his first 3 regular seasons. He's already eclipsed that with 1,756 minutes so far, with 9 games left in the season. For a player that had been labeled with durability issues, that's an insane jump in floor time, which shouldn't be overlooked in terms of personal development. Williams put in the offseason work to get to this point, and his work on his body is paying dividends for the Boston Celtics. Former MVP and Boston Celtics center Dave Cowens applauded Williams' improvement. He said, "I've really enjoyed watching him get better, and what it tells me is that he takes the game seriously and he wants to get better, and he's a pro. That's what I like about him. He's really effective." Of all starters with at least 30 games played, Williams has the lowest defensive field goal percentage in the entire league at 40.2%, and opponents shoot -6.8% worse when defended by him, league best differential. That differential is just above other elite bigs like Jarrett Allen, -6.5%, Rudy Gobert, -6.0%, Jaren Jackson Jr., -5.4%, and Bam Adebayo, -5.3%. On top of that, Boston's SWAT machine is first in blocks per game, 2.2 BPG, and second in block percentage, 6.7%. The reacquisition of Al Horford has been huge for the development of Williams, and Horford's presence has allowed Ime Udoka to use Williams in a free safety type of defensive role, similar to how the Milwaukee Bucks use Giannis Antetokounmpo. Horford holds down the paint, which allows Williams to roam the space between the paint and the perimeter. This utilization of Robert Williams' skill set has been a big part of Boston's defensive renaissance, with the team averaging 5.9 blocks per game, second best in the NBA behind Memphis, and a league-best defense with a rating of 105.5. Williams' impact goes far beyond being a defensive anchor for Boston, as the Celtics have used his passing and athleticism to the best of their abilities. Boston is 10th in offensive rebounding. A lot of that is due to Williams' ability to pull down boards or swat them out to the perimeter to keep possessions alive. Of all starters with at least 30 games under their belt, Williams is 4th in offensive rebounding rate at 14.3%. It's also worth noting, under the same parameters, he's 2nd in effective field goal percentage, 72.9%, and 1st in true shooting percentage, 74%, while being the 5th lowest in usage rate, 11.4%. While Williams isn't getting a ton of looks, he's most certainly making the most out of them, whether it is a putback off of a missed field goal or a sky-high lob for a slam dunk finish. A while back in February, former Boston Celtics player and current NBA analyst Big Perk Kendrick Perkins commented, "His energy is just contagious," Perkins said. "Why haven't we talked about Robert Williams as being in the most improved player conversation? I don't know how it slipped my mind. It's not just his alley-oop dunks, it's his awareness and his IQ," Perkins said. "I think that's where we don't give him enough credit for. The Celtics have so much trust and belief in Rob Williams, it's really a great thing to see. I think that trust is what's giving Williams the confidence he has right now." Williams is surely a candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year and could slip into the most improved player conversation. He's the most impactful defensive player on the best defense in the league, and it's not subtle. There are also so many times that guys just don't even dare to enter the paint with him roaming because they know he's going to be either blocking it or will force a terrible shot. Also, if he can become more aggressive, looking for his own offense, and get some confidence in his jumper, he will be an all-star for the Boston Celtics. The underrated thing he does is get the ball out fast on outlets as well. As his rebounding increased, so did the Celtics' pace. Many times in a game, he doesn't even bother catching a rebound to the floor and just taps or outlets in the air. Another thing about his defense is he's forcing bad decisions. People are hyper-aware of his presence and pass on layups and/or throw passes back outside to no one or heavily guarded guys. Between his processing speed and his court vision, Williams is blossoming into a strong playmaker for the Boston Celtics, and his continued growth and development raised the ceiling of this Boston team bit by bit. There's no way to know exactly who is going to walk out with the Most Improved Player award this season, or any of the other accolades for that matter. The league as a whole is probably the most competitive and balanced it's been in a very long time, and so many young players have taken huge leaps and bounds in their development. And what do you guys think? Does Robert Williams have a chance of winning the Defensive Player of the Year and possibly the Most Improved Player this season for the Boston Celtics? Can he be the long-awaited interior presence that the Celtics have been missing since Kevin Garnett? How much can his play impact the Celtics' chances in the playoffs? I would love to hear back from you, so please don't be shy and let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you want to hear more NBA stories from around the league. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.